Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on The Flash Season 5. And this is going to be my trailer breakdown for episode 16 for this season, otherwise entitled Failure is an Orphan. But of course, before we get into anything else, let's actually watch that pretty awesome trailer.
This is it, the last confrontation.
What are you talking about?
Today's the day you stop Cicada.
Something is struggling to break through. Or someone. We have to move.
The Flash, all new this Tuesday at 8/7 Central on the CW.
So, yeah, cool trailer. But last episode, we basically saw the big King Shark vs. Gorilla Grodd fight, which I thought was a really fun filler episode, which also tied in a bit of the main story with the metahuman cure, which we see that, it worked, even though Shay Landon went back to King Shark, but that was more of a personal choice to sort of, help save the day and rescue not only, the Flash and XS, but also the rest of Central City from Gorilla Grodd's control. So that was a really cool moment. But yeah, the metahuman cure works, and obviously Barry wants to, ask Sacada at least, and offer it to him and say, yo, do you want to be cured, before maybe having to, go the extra mile and actually use it as a weapon. But of course, before we actually get into the breakdown of this trailer, we will quickly go over the synopsis for this episode, as it does give us a bit more, context to the episode. But do let me know in the comment section down below the thing you're looking forward to the most in this episode. I'm excited and just curious to see what you guys, are looking forward to. With a metahuman cure ready to use, Barry and Team Flash must figure out a way to subdue Cicada long enough to take it. Killer Frost steps in to help with the plan. Meanwhile, Joe eases back into work and Nora isn't happy about the way her dad plans to stop Cicada. So we actually start the trailer off by seeing Nora flicking through that little notebook or journal of hers that we have seen many times throughout this season, as well as a handful of times last season. We hear her say that this is the last confrontation, obviously talking about Barry and Cicada's final confrontation most likely. Now, based off other shots in the trailer, it does seem that this shot is actually maybe towards the end of the episode, or at least in the back half of the episode, just due to the sweater that Nora is wearing when pointing at the journal. It matches with the sweater she is wearing in shots that are obviously towards the end of the episode, or, the back half. But it is interesting that she is open with this book now. She has used it in front of Team Flash before, but no one has really questioned her about it too much outside of Sherlock. So it's about time, I guess, that it's used in front of the team to, help out. But this is then when we see Cicada slamming Barry up against a wall with his hood down and his mask off, and he doesn't look pleased. Now, obviously, this isn't going to be a big identity reveal moment and like, oh, wow, what a shock. It's not going to be like that to Barry, as they all know who is under the hood or under the Cicada mask for quite a while now. But this sort of looks like it might be a bit earlier on in the episode. As we heard right at the end of last episode, Barry wants to offer the cure to Cicada, when previously it was, being made to be used as like a weapon to use on him and a choice for other metas. But Barry wants to learn from his experiences in the King Shark episode by, giving Cicada a choice before, most likely having to inject it forcefully. However, as Caitlin said a few episodes back, they are going to, have to hold Cicada still for at least a minute or so for the cure to effectively work on him, like the synopsis also says. So that might be, quite the task in this episode and could possibly, not go that well either. But it is just after that where we hear Nora basically give the main, thing for the episode. Apparently when this episode airs, that will be the day that Barry stops Cicada. Now, as we know in the future, we learned in the Flash Museum that Cicada was never caught, went into hiding and then re-emerged once the Flash disappeared in 2024, or shortly after, might I say. And then went on to rake up quite a higher kill count than both Zoom and the Red Death. Now, there is debate on whether that information is true due to Nora messing with her own memories, which was highlighted by the two different versions of the future Iris, or her, future mother. But I think we should assume that Nora meddling with her memories was just about her mother, just due to her her perception of it and stuff like that, and nothing to do with the actual facts about Cicada and other villains in the Flash Museum. Now, as we have heard a few times this season, the timeline is malleable, so things can be changed in the past that Nora is in, which, really won't affect her future, which I think we all take issue with, as in, past examples on the show. This really doesn't make all that much sense. But I guess we're just supposed to go with the flow, so let's do that. But it does seem that with the help of Earbud in the future, Nora has been able to swing things to the point where things have changed, and it isn't recorded that this is the day in which her father takes down Cicada, or that is what she is telling everyone at least. It would not surprise me in the slightest if Nora is lying to her father and pushing him to try and match up, with the apparent series of events that, that are supposed to go down in the present leading to the future in order to fulfill the goals that Eobard set her. So Nora's basically saying, yeah, this happened, when really it doesn't, but she's doing it to, fulfill, Eobard's plans. As we heard him say previously, the goal is to defeat Sacada, destroy his dagger, and then finally save Nora's father, Barry. That is their plan. So Nora could just be manipulating the past in order to change events that aren't malleable to affect the future. If Sacada is taken down now, in 2019, the future is much different. Many people aren't killed, and it wouldn't surprise me in the slightest if Reverse Flash is maybe a bit scared of Cicada. The Metacure might be another thing that, defeating Cicada could also change, or defeating Cicada early could change. In this future, we have that, that clock ticking down from an hour or so by the looks of it. Maybe Eobard is on a countdown until he gets injected with that cure and loses his powers, because, it needs an hour to, take effect, which, he would be extremely desperate to keep his powers. Like, that would not surprise me at all to see, that bare thing in this episode or episodes to come. We do see Team Flash lining up to defend Star Labs here, so it definitely looks like Cicada brings the battle to Star Labs. It will be interesting to see how he figures all of this out, but one of the more interesting parts that I saw a lot of people freaking out over is this shot of Nora, pinned up against a pillar with this glowing energy around her. I did see some people saying this could be speeds to lightning or something like that, of a possibly a new speedster. But it does just seem to be Cicada's dagger going around and around Nora. That is the effect it gives off most of the time. But just before that, there is actually a shot of Barry opposite someone, which does appear to be Cicada in Star Labs. Now, the big part of the trailer that most are talking about is when we see Eobard Thawne with Nora in the background, and he says, something is struggling to break through, or someone. With us seeing all those, symbols on his little technological setup there. Now, the big question here is this a future Cicada? As this episode seems to be, big around that character, or is it possibly the character we know will be, I guess being a massive focus in episode 18, that being Godspeed. Now, seeing that something is quote-unquote breaking through, you would have to think that this would be more pointing to a speedster or something like that, not a metahuman like Cicada. Even in the future, where apparently they're even more powerful, what would Cicada be trying to break through? It seemed that Eobard was looking at some scientific mumbo-jumbo and readings of some sort, which could possibly be hinting at some sort of breach through time, or the multiverse, or something like that. We do also see Team Flash and Cecile. Is she a part of Team Flash? I don't know. Anyway, they're in that new area for this season with the coffee bar and stuff like that. And we do see lightning reflecting off both Joe and Iris's faces, as well as I think Sherlock, Cecile, and Nora on the couch. Now, I think this is just Barry running around. I saw people thinking that this could be Godspeed or something. I think it's just Barry running around. Maybe he's trying to power the building, get some electricity going, as it does seem like power has gone down. I don't think this is anyone else. I think it's just Barry. But we do see Cicada do his best action movie stunt by crashing through a window here. I'm going to take a guess here and say that the front door was locked, but going to be interesting to see how they deal with this intruder this time around. Now, Danielle Panabaker, who plays Caitlin, did say that there is a big moment at the end of this episode, episode 16, which could potentially be the first appearance of Godspeed, and maybe he comes across Reverse Flash, which many have been saying, could be the case thanks to the trailer. Maybe he appears in the prison and stuff like that. Godspeed could potentially just be hunting down particular speedsters to kill and take speed off of. And maybe Reverse Flash is spared because he's had the injection or something. It is hard to tell just off the trailer, as they obviously don't want to spoil it, but it is something to have a think over. But Danielle, with that episode 16 ending teaser sort of thing, could have also been hinting at something else, and that is the end or death of Cicada. So does Cicada actually get taken down and defeated in this episode? Well, going by the trailer and what it's trying to push, you would think so. However, there is still some open stuff with Cicada, as well as a decent amount of open stuff with his niece Grace. And I really don't know how they're going to fit that in, along with what seems to be a decently sized Star Lab scene with Cicada, as well as some intro encounters with Cicada, as well as just future stuff in general. Now, I'm not saying Cicada won't die in this episode or be taken down, but it does give off a hint of a possible mislead in this trailer. The title of Failure is an Orphan basically means people not willing to take responsibilities for their mistakes and their failures, which could be linked with not only Cicada himself and maybe Grace being a failure in his life, but also Team Flash like missing their chance to take him down, and maybe, you know, what Nora's done in this episode as well, with where she might be possibly manipulating her father to change the events of time. So there could be like a double or triple or quadruple meaning with the, you know, the episode title. Also, episode 17 will feature some flashbacks involving Grace, so the episode after this. Obviously Grace being Cicada's niece. So I don't see the point wrapping Cicada up in episode 16 to just have some focus on Grace in episode 17, unless they are setting her up to take over the Cicada mantle, and she is the one that's killing in the future, which a lot of people think is the case anyway. It's really hard to tell what exactly is going to be going down this episode, but regardless, we can think, you know, just speculate all you want. It doesn't really matter, because it does look like this is going to be a pretty action-packed episode, no matter what, whether it's good or whether it's bad. But thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome if you could drop a like and it shows support. Let me know in the comment section down below what you're looking forward to the most in this episode. Did I miss anything out that was worth talking about? Let me know in the comment section down below. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. And yeah, I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.